As the sun beats down on the Parley ground, Saladin rides towards his challenger. A mixed group of knights, nobles and scholars accompany him, including the aforementioned Judge Al-Adil. On the other side, Richard also rides forth with his own entourage, including his brother King John. Richard, expecting to find a beast, instead finds a man of principle. Saladin, expecting a brute, instead finds a knight. After introductions are made and greetings exchanged, Saladin offers Richard a chance to rest his troops before continuing the siege. However, Richard refuses, stating that he wants to take Jerusalem. The two kings continue to discuss the possibility of Richard capturing Jerusalem, with Richard insisting that the best way forward is to take the city now and rule over it. Saladin tries to explain to Richard that the city has religious significance for Muslims, and that taking it would only result in more war. However, Richard is unmoved and insists that he must have Jerusalem. As negotiations come to a standstill, Saladin and his party return to their camp. The Muslim leader takes this opportunity to address his troops, reminding them that God has ordered him to help Christians in need. Therefore, he will treat Richard and his knights according to the rules of chivalry. "Let us go and perform our ablutions," he says, "so we can pray." Richard and his party arrive at a secluded area away from prying eyes and ears. He motions for his attendants to wait outside while he enters a tent alone to speak with Saladin. Once inside, Richard sits opposite Saladin and asks him why he will not give up Jerusalem. Saladin responds that Jerusalem is holy to Muslims, just as it is to Christians, and that he cannot give it up because doing so would go against his religion. Richard demands that Saladin surrender the city so that bloodshed can be avoided, but Saladin refuses, saying that he will never abandon what is right. Richard, frustrated by Saladin's refusal, accuses him of lying and deceit, saying that he wants nothing but war. However, Saladin counters that he has tried everything to avoid war and that it is Richard who has chosen violence. Richard argues that if Saladin really wanted peace, he would have given Jerusalem without a fight, but Saladin insists that he would rather die than compromise his principles. Richard realizes that Saladin is not going to give him what he wants and becomes angry. He stands up and begins pacing the tent, shouting that he is leaving without Jerusalem. Richard exits the tent and rejoins his party, who are eager to hear the results of the negotiations. When Richard tells them that Saladin refuses to surrender Jerusalem, the knights become angry and want to attack immediately. However, Richard is not so quick to act.